Welcome to Document Write. In today's video, we're talking about why technical writers should create personas. A persona is a fictional character created based on user research. This character represents a typical user who consumes your documentation or uses your product. Here are example personas for a user of Stripe's API documentation. Meet Rachel. Rachel is a software developer at a startup that offers a subscription-based service to its customers. She's responsible for integrating the Stripe API into her company's software, ensuring that it is reliable, secure, and easy to use for its customers. Rachel is a 31-year-old female. She lives in New York City and has a bachelor's degree in computer science. Rachel's primary goal is to understand how to integrate Stripe's payment gateway into her company's software quickly and efficiently. She wants to ensure that the payment process is seamless and secure for her company's customers. She is also interested in learning about advanced features and functionality of the Stripe API that could enhance her company's offering. Rachel's main challenge is navigating the technical documentation provided by Stripe. While she has experience working with APIs, she may struggle with the technical jargon and the complexity of the Stripe API documentation. So, how can Stripe use this persona? Well, information on Rachel's education and professional background will guide Stripe into creating documentation that is well organized and leverages her prior experience of working with APIs. Knowing her goals will help Stripe tailor their documentation to meet her needs, like emphasizing aspects of security and making it easy for her to find documentation on advanced features. Stripe could even create tutorials that are specific to Rachel's use case. Now let's meet Sarah, the entrepreneur. Sarah is an entrepreneur who recently launched her own e-commerce website to sell handmade jewelry. She has some technical knowledge, but is not a developer by trade. She is responsible for setting up the payment gateway on her website and wants to use Stripe's API to process payments securely and efficiently. Sarah is a 25-year-old female living in Whitefish, a small town in rural Montana. She has a degree in business administration. Sarah's primary goal is to quickly and easily integrate Stripe's payment gateway into her e-commerce website without needing a developer's help. She wants to ensure that the payment process is secure and straightforward for her customers. She is also interested in learning about any additional features Stripe offers that could benefit her business. Sarah's main challenge is the technical nature of integrating the Stripe API into her website. She does not have extensive programming experience and may struggle with some of the technical jargon used in the documentation. Sarah is motivated to ensure that her customers have a seamless and secure payment experience when purchasing items from her website. She also wants to ensure that she can easily manage payments and access useful insights and analytics provided by Stripe. Once again, how can Stripe use this persona information? Living in a remote, small town means that Sarah may sometimes have problems with her Wi-Fi. So it will be worthwhile for Stripe to provide an offline version of their documentation. Additionally, being aware of Sarah's technical abilities will enable them to design documentation that is appropriate and will allow her to effectively make use of Stripe's features. They could go even further and emphasize features that allow her to access advanced analytics and different statistics that are relevant to business users. So let's talk about some of the benefits of using a persona. Creating a user persona has these main benefits. First is it helps you identify and understand your audience. Secondly, it helps you enhance the content that you write for your readers. And thirdly, it helps you to address your audience's pain points. So firstly, identifying and understanding your audience. Creating personas will help you identify with and understand the audience you're writing for. Personas make writing less complex as they guide your ideation process and achieve the goal of creating a good user experience for your target audience. A persona also helps you to stay coloring within the lines, putting in perspective what's most important, things like your users' struggles and their motivations. Enhancing your readers' content. To be completely honest, most technical write-ups are dreadfully boring and hard to get through. To avoid creating another piece of technical content that puts your reader to sleep, creating a persona enhances your reader's experience with your content. Well-crafted and accurate personas keep your reader engaged and makes them want to know more, which means they read more of your article. This is achieved by keeping everything you write relevant to the needs and pain points of your users. And number 3, addressing your audience's pain points. When you have a persona, you can easily address your audience's pain points. You should aim to create a story that speaks to your audience, about them, and for them. You should try getting in the head of your audience, know who they are, and what motivates them. Spending time with product managers and sales managers who typically have a deep understanding of your customers will be very handy in crafting user personas. Let's analyze how to create a user persona. First, ask yourself, who is my audience? Secondly, what is the purpose or goal of your writing? Thirdly, identify the main problem that your write-up is trying to address. Write to engage the reader. And finally, you have to include a relevant call to action. So firstly, who is your audience? No matter what kind of content you are creating, having an understanding of who your intended audience is should always be your first task. When determining your audience, collaborating with your marketing and sales teams is absolutely necessary. They have a better understanding of your target audience as they work very closely with them. If you don't have a marketing or sales team, you can use other methods like user surveys, interviews, and analysis of user profile data. Number 2, what is the purpose of your writing? All writing must have a purpose or goal. Ask yourself questions like, why am I writing this article? What do I want to get out of it? What do I want my readers to walk away with after reading my articles? These questions should be at the top of your mind as you're crafting your technical documentation. Number 3, identify the problem. All technical content must identify a problem that is to be addressed or explained. Successful content gives the reader more knowledge than they had before reading it. Moreover, that knowledge should be useful and actionable. Number 4, write to engage the reader. Technical writing should engage the reader through insights and answers to questions. Tone and voice should be considered when writing to your audience. You should write in the second person to describe the actions the reader needs to take. Writing in this way will help the reader to internalize the knowledge gained from your content. Writing in the second person means you address your user directly. It gives the document a casual, friendly tone which helps the reader to focus on the content. The tone should also be informative, clear, and sympathetic to your reader's goals. Finally, what is the call to action? Adding a call to action to your technical content is essential, but oftentimes overlooked. Whether your call to action has a marketing purpose or a technical purpose at its core, it is the most fundamental way to continue the conversation you've started with your reader. The call to action should be tailored towards the characteristics of your user persona and should address their needs and take advantage of their motivations. Now that we know what a persona is and why it's important to have one, let's conclude with a template for how to create a user persona. So when you're creating your user persona, you need to have answers to the following. First, what's the background of your typical user? What's their name? What is their job role and their job description? You also need to know their demographics. What's their age, their gender, education, and location. The location does not necessarily need to be very precise, but it can be something more general, for example, a large metropolitan city or in the countryside. You also need to know what are their goals. What do they want to achieve with your product or service? How will that goal make their life easier? You should also take note of the challenges they're facing. What are they struggling with when they're using your product or reading your documentation? What are their motivations? What do they care about? To create a persona, you'll need to do some extensive user research. One way to do that is through user interviews. We have a video that guides you through how to conduct effective user interviews, and you can access that video using the link showing in the corner of your screen. Thank you very much for watching this video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you want to learn more about technical documentation, or you need help with writing your company's docs, contact us by heading over to our website at documentwrite.dev. If you'd like a free PDF summary of this video, you can download it using the link in the description below. Thank you very much for watching. See you in the next video.